Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Biz Essentials Podcast. I'm your host, Veronika, and today we're going to be speaking with Tracy Beavers. We're going to be talking about how to make sales easy and how to network to build synergetic relationships so that you can level up your business and grow your income. This promises to be a great conversation, so stick around, and I'll be back right after this.
Tony Robbins once said, "No matter how many mistakes you make or how slow you progress, you are still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying." This is the Biz Essentials. You want to grow, get ahead, keep the spark. Here you'll get valuable insights and empowerment to grow personally and professionally. Isn't it about time you turn your dreams into successful passion projects? Learn how to be productive, be successful, be joyful, and more importantly, be yourself. The Be Essentials. This is the Biz Essentials. And this is your host, Veronika of Veronika Ventures.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Tracy. Tracy, I am so excited to have you here because your greatest strengths are some of my biggest weaknesses. But before we get started on all things sales, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do?
So I'm Tracy Beavers. I'm located in Arkansas, and I'm the owner and founder of Tracy Beavers Coaching. I have over 15 years experience in sales, marketing, networking. I find sales to be fun and easy, and over time have realized that most people don't feel that way about it. I also am a master networker. I find sales and networking to be just second nature for me. And so what I do now is I coach people to love it also.
Wow. How can people get comfortable with sales? I find it so incredibly uncomfortable. I get nervous and my anxiety goes up. It's really terrible. So how do you help your clients get past that?
So first of all, when people say they're not a salesperson, they're wrong. We're all salespeople. I mean, every single one of us. If you've ever convinced your child to wear a coat when it's 30 degrees below zero outside, you're a salesperson. We're all in sales. So really what sales boils down to is being a problem solver and being a helper. And when I believe in something, then there's really no sales to it because I believe in it so strongly and I'm so confident about it that I know that I'm right and I know that's the right thing to do.
So whenever I have to make a sale or present something to a potential client, I get so nervous that I'm not going to say the right thing or know how to communicate that message effectively so that it resonates with that other person. How do you get past that? What can we do so that we can do that more effectively?
One of the things to do is to ask your person, your client, your prospect, questions. People will tell us exactly what they need, exactly what they're looking for. And so it kind of takes the sale out of it because once you know what someone is needing or looking for, and you know that you have that thing, how can you not offer it to them? If someone is literally telling you this is their pain point and you are their solution, in my mind, how can I not share with them that I've got the solution to their problem? So that's how I look at it, is I'm being a problem solver and I'm sharing what I know and I'm sharing my expertise, just reminding myself of the value that I have to bring by offering what I have to the other person.
That's a really interesting way of putting it, because while you were talking, it occurred to me that one of the reasons I'm so uncomfortable with sales is that I feel like I'm putting the other person on the spot to say yes or no to my face, which I hate when people are doing it to me. So I think that may be a game changer for me. If I can think of it as a way to present a solution as opposed to making a sale, I think that's going to be huge, because then I am just being a good friend or a good business associate that is helping them with their problem, not trying to make a sale.
You can take the edge off of it depending on what the circumstance is. Like you're saying, it feels kind of weird to have someone looking at you and they're saying yes or no. What we have to remember is their answer is not personal. It's just business. And a no doesn't mean no. It just means not right now. So if you can remove yourself personally from the situation and have a little bit more of an objective filter on it, I know it feels super personal when someone says no. I mean, for me, I'm a coach. I want to help people. When someone says that my coaching services are not what they're looking for, there are days when that hits me and I'm like, oh, well, that didn't feel really great. I have to remind myself of all the clients I've helped, how far they've come, the value that I bring to people, I just say to myself, okay, well, they're just not ready. It's not a no forever. It's just a not right now. They're just not ready. And if you are pitching idea for a presentation, you can kind of take the seriousness out of the moment and be kind of funny with it. I have a really good sense of humor. I think I'm funny, although if you ask my kids, they'll tell you I'm not. But like sometimes what I'll say to somebody is, like if I were pitching a presentation, I could say, okay, here's my idea for the presentation. This could be the best idea I've ever had. It could be the worst idea I've ever had. I can't wait to hear what you think. Here it is. And you're not really selling. You're just sort of sharing the idea of what you've got and taking the pressure off of them, because they're probably feeling pressure too. They're like, she's looking right at me and I got to tell her yes or no. And I don't want to hurt her feelings if it stinks. And so by doing that, you kind of given them a way to say, that might not be the best idea, but here's a different idea. And what if we run with this?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And, again, it comes back down to when I meet with someone for coaching, for example, when someone comes to me for coaching, my question to them is, I have a lot of questions, but I'm like, tell me about you. What is your business? Tell me what brought you to coaching. They're going to tell me what they need. And if I am that best solution, again, it's very easy for me to say, okay, this is what you've said you need help with. I can help you with these things by doing X, Y, and Z. And, here's my pricing for my services. When do you think you want to get started? And again, if they say no, it just means they're really not ready.
Right. So what I'm hearing from you is that you really need to ask the questions to find out what their pain points are, and then present the solution and remove yourself from the answer because it's really not about you.
It's not, although it feels like it's about you, because as entrepreneurs, we are what we do. Our ego and our work are completely intertwined. And so it can feel like, oh God, they're saying no to me, but they're really not. There could be a million reasons why they say no, or they say not right now. And some of those, I would say most of those reasons actually may have nothing to do with you. We have no idea what's going on in their world. It could be that it's a budget thing. It could be that it's a time thing. It could be that, for me, for coaching, it could be that they're just not confident in themselves right now. It could be a million reasons. I heard somebody say the other day, it just makes them so crazy when people don't call them back, when people don't respond to their calls or their text messages or whatever. And I just kind of play a little joke in my head and I'm like, I'm just going to pretend that their cell phone fell in the toilet. And that is why they have not called me back. It's not because they don't want to hear from me. And it's not because they don't want to buy what I'm selling. It's because they physically can't call me back.
Right. Yeah, I know that spin out. I've been there. When you start thinking about what they might be doing or why they're not getting back to you, that's a great way of looking at it.
How many of us have sat at a stoplight for what feels like most of our lives, and they see your message and then the light turns green and they're like, oh, shoot. And so they put down the phone and they take off down the road. Well, the text message shows red. And when they go back to look at their text messages, they might not remember because it's cleared out. The notification that it popped up is gone. You know what I mean?
You know what else happens to me is I type out the response and then I get distracted by something and I forget to hit send. And then later I'm like, oh God, I forgot to send that.
Exactly. And I learned these things over time, being in sales for so long. There were so many times when somebody said, I saw your message and I thought I responded. I'm so sorry. And so that's why the follow-up is so important, because we don't know why they didn't answer. I mean, maybe they're at home with their kids and one of the kids made a huge mess and they got distracted. I mean, we just don't know.
So once you have your potential clients' pain points and you start making those presentations, getting comfortable with sales, how do you go from getting comfortable with sales to building that sustainable income? Because sales can be very come and go.
For sure. So building a sustainable income to me means doing two things. That is attracting new clients. Obviously, we want always to have new clients coming through the front door. But it means the other side of that is the existing clients that you have that are already in your business and love you. We need to keep them. And we need to turn them into our raving fans and our best referral source. That to me is what sustainable income means. Because if we are so busy turning cartwheels out in the front of our business, trying to attract new people, and we forget about all the people that already love us and buy from us, and we assume that they're going to stay with us forever, that's a mistake. over time, they are quietly going to take their wallet and exit out the back of our store, if you will, our business. And so what you've created in that moment is actually not a growth model. It's a turnstile of attracting new and then they're going out the door, and then you're attracting new and they're going out the door. So if you're realizing that your client numbers are not growing and your income is not growing, that is a super indicator that you've got a disconnect. And 9 times out of 10, that disconnect is the fact that your existing clients aren't feeling the love anymore.
So how do we help our clients from feeling that way? Because most of us who are service providers or entrepreneurs, we usually love what we do. We got into it for a reason. And we want our clients to feel the love all the time. So how do we help ourselves, help them feel the love and keep up that retention rate so that we don't have a turnstile type business and we have a growth model?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So there's lots of different ways you can do it. And I have written a lot of content on this subject. I did a training actually a week ago. I do a weekly live training in my Facebook group, and it was about customer service versus customer experience. Customer service used to be extra. It was like, ooh, they gave me good customer service. Well, now that's expected. That's the norm, is good customer service. So what we have to do is ask ourselves, how can we level that up? Because there's a big difference between service and experience. And if you think through the last time you had a really great customer experience, Disney is a great example of customer experience. Oh my gosh, they knock it out of the park. The park is clean. Everything is themed. It's just this great experience. You're just marinating in Disney, right? When you're there. Yeah. Or you go to a restaurant, and from the minute you pull up to the front, maybe they have free valet parking and they just escort you in. And then the maitre d' already knows your name and they already have the menus out. That experience, again, the waiter or waitress comes along and just makes it that much more special. My doctor's office, for goodness sake, does a good job of this, which is random in my opinion. No doctor. Right? I've never gotten a thank you note from a doctor's office, but I got one and I was like, well, heck. That was amazing because the receptionist is lovely and she's escorting you in and she knows my name and she's expecting me when I show up. And then they send me this thank you card and I'm like, wow. But when you have that experience, it causes you to want to share it with other people. I became a walking billboard for my doctor. And I was like, you got to go see this lady because she is amazing. She makes you feel like $1 million. And then she sends you a thank you card. And they file the insurance and they just bend over backwards to get you what you need. And, that is what I'm talking about. And so they turned me into a raving fan and a good referral source. So while they're attracting the new clients, the existing clients are wanting to stay around because they love the experience. They buy into the community that is the business. My chiropractor's office does a really great job of this also. He does lots of customer appreciation things. Once a quarter, he does something. And it could be, for every referral you bring in, you get a ticket into the drawing for this amazing Yeti cooler or this super cool barbecue grill, or he'll do a wellness dinner where he'll invite you. You'll have gorgeous, organic, grass-fed, clean food and really great education on the hottest topic in health or something. I don't know. It's all about keeping people with you, having them have a great experience so that they want to stay with you. They want to shout you from the rooftops. And so that builds that sustainable income. But there's lots of different ways that you can creatively work this into your business. I don't know of a business yet that I found that I have not been able to come up with solutions for them to retain their clients and build that referral source with them.
So what I'm hearing from you is that once we get that client or potential client, we need to make sure that their experience with us is as seamless as possible from beginning to end. And that once that transaction, so to speak, is done, you need to make sure that you touch base with them every once in a while and connect with them so that you keep curating and growing that list.
Exactly. And you stay top of mind. For example, I have some clients that are in the skincare business. One of the solutions I came up with for them, they check in on their clients monthly. Whether or not their clients need anything, doesn't matter. If they see something like school just started here in our area, everybody's kids went back to school this week. And so if they were reaching out to one of their clients this week and they knew that client had school age kids, because if you're doing a good job, you know about your clients' personal lives, right?
Right.
Then you could say, hey, how was the kids' first week of school? just checking in on you, hope things are going well. You don't even have to mention the skincare. And when they respond back and say, yeah, they had a great week, say, awesome, I'm so glad. I'm always here for you. Let me know if you need anything. And that just keeps that person top of mind. It lets that customer know that that person is thinking of them in a way that doesn't necessarily always have to do with product, program, or service. It's just being a human being and being a good person and saying, hey, you're important to me is what it's saying. And that's what people really, really want. They want to feel important and validated and seen and included. And so that's what you're creating.
Yeah, that's super important to build that network of existing clients who will refer business to you. Now, while we're talking about networking, how can we build a network with other entrepreneurs or business owners or content creators so that we can have those synergetic relationships that will help build our business?
That's a great question. So the key to sales and networking always comes back to relationships. It's not transactional, it's relational. I do a lot of training on this as well. For me, I love to meet people. And I know that the person that I meet is going to fit into my life somewhere. Maybe it's just a really great connection for somebody that I enjoy being around. That gives you fuel and energy for me to keep coaching and doing what I do, right? Keeping my energy high.
Right.
Ideally, that person might be a prospect that might need coaching. I'm not going to know until I have that conversation with that person. But for me, they're going to fit into, they're either going to need coaching, and that's something that I can flesh out based on the questions that I ask and finding out if I'm the right solution for them, or they're going to be someone that may end up being a really great referral partner. For example, I have a good friend of mine. She works for a company. So she's not an entrepreneur. She's not a business owner, and she's not in sales. So she's not a client for me, but she loves what I do so much that she sends me referrals. Every time she runs into somebody who's building a business or in sales, she's like, you've got to call Tracy because she will absolutely level up your business. So on the face of it, and when I'm having this conversation with her, it doesn't look like it would benefit me in any way, but it really will, because you never know who's going to love what you do so much that even if they don't use your services, they could refer you to somebody that does, that needs you. The other thing to remember is we always need to be on the lookout for collaboration partners. And collaboration partners are people who have services, programs, or products that are adjacent to ours. We are talking to the same audience. Our customers are very much the same, but we are not in competition with each other. In fact, I just finished a training on this too. I keep saying that a lot, but I have a lot of content. This is a new guide I'm putting together for how entrepreneurs can gain visibility without ad spend, because advertising, especially Facebook ads and social media ads right now, are so expensive and so wonky with regard to the analytics and who they're actually going to reach, that people are looking for a lot of different ways to gain visibility without spending a lot of money. And this is one of the ways to do that. You find a collaboration partner and you shout each other out. For example, a chiropractor and a massage therapist. They are not competing with each other. What they do is adjacent. They're both in the wellness space. They're both taking care of people from a health standpoint and a body standpoint. And they're talking to customers that are in the same demographic. They're talking to the same audiences. And so those two people collaborate together for an event, for anything. It could be a lunch and learn. It could be a wellness event at one of their offices. And they invite all of their clients, and the chiropractor gets exposed to a whole bunch of new people from the massage therapist book of business, and vice versa. So it's a great way to love on your clients. Hey, I'm going to invite you to this wellness event. By the way, I'm going to have this awesome massage therapist there. She's going to do little 5-minute massages, and, we might serve some wine, and you might have somebody included in that sells essential oils. Those things all go along within the same adjacent services, but those three people don't compete.
Yeah, I could see that being really powerful, because not only are you building a network of collaboration partners, but you're essentially building a network of people who will continually be referring clients to you because they talk to the same people you do. So you're exponentially growing both of your businesses. That's a really good tip.
Exactly. I have a really good friend of mine who is a thought life coach. So she helps people with their mental game. Now, that is something I offer with coaching. It's a small piece of what I offer, but my focus is primarily business and sales, networking, that kind of thing. So she and I could easily collaborate, and we're planning to in October because we're speaking to the same people, but she's got a very different take. And on the face of it, people might say, well, you're both coaches. How does that not compete? Well, our messaging and our niche is completely different. We're each helping in different areas. She is absolutely more of a pro at the mental game than I am. I'm good at it, but she knocks it out of the park. And I think she's good in business and sales, but I think she would say the same thing about me, that, that really is something that differentiates us. So.
Right. I can totally see that, because some people would say, well, you're both coaches, but if you're more focused on the sales business part and she's more focused on the mindset part, those are two totally different things. And because you both have a passion for that, it's going to make you coach in a completely different way. Although a passion for sales, I don't understand that. But you know what? People say that to me when I say that I love all things tech and I love to edit and make videos and things like that. And my friends who are coaches say to me, like, how do you like that? And I'm like, how do you like what you do?
Yes, I feel that way. Tech blows my mind. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm going to call Veronika.
See? Yeah, I have friends who do that. My friend who actually became my alignment coach, I help her with the tech stuff and she helps me with the mindset stuff, because those are both of our weaknesses, so to speak, and our strengths. So you've mentioned your trainings a couple times. Where can people find these trainings or connect with you so that they can learn more about sales and networking and how to do those things effectively?
One of the best places to go is a new blog that I have. There's lots of content on there. It's tracybeavers.com/blog. They can subscribe and read through the content there. I do live trainings in my Facebook group. I would love for people to jump into the Facebook group. It's called Be a Confident Entrepreneur, Gain Confidence and Grow Your Income. We've got almost 600 members in that group. Everybody is super supportive and collaborative. If you've got a promotion you're running, or if you've got a need, if you're looking for a collaboration partner, or you want to know what kind of social media scheduler does everybody use, or which one do you like, or I need to get a CRM system, which ones do you guys like? Everybody's super supportive in there and helps one another, which is really, really nice. So I'd love for them to jump in there, because every week on Thursdays, I do a live training. A lot of what we've talked about, I've trained on. I also have a 6-week online course that covers a lot of what we talked about today, but it's more intensive. And it's 6 weeks of, from a schedule standpoint, making sure that your schedule serves you and that you don't serve your schedule, which is really hard as an entrepreneur when you are chief cook and bottle washer and you're trying to do all the things. And it's like, when do I have time to actually work on the business? When do I have time to actually breathe?
Right? Or sleep or do anything else.
Exactly. Eat. There's another one. Then there's a week on sales, getting comfortable in sales, how to not feel salesy or annoying, what to say. What does that feel like? What are the things that you need to tell yourself in order to move through the fear that you have of sales? Then we have some time spent on follow-up. When do you follow up? How do you follow up? And the systems you can put into place to make sure you never lose a client and you never forget to follow up, which is key. If you're forgetting to follow up, then you're not going to have a business for very long. And then we step into networking and we plow into that and just really give a lot of great information on how to be a master networker, how to make sure you get the most out of every opportunity you have to meet someone else. So anyway, that course has been amazing. The people that have dove into the deep end of the pool and grabbed onto that, they are leveling up their businesses. And it's been so much fun to watch. And then I offer private coaching too. So there's always that.
I really like how you structure that course. It's basically from beginning to end, how to run a business, from scheduling all the way through networking and keeping your clients happy and building that list. Not a turnstile, right?
Right.
So where can people find that course?
It's at tracybeavers.com/work with me. And they'll see there's the private coaching there and the online course there as well.
And I completely agree with you on the follow-up. It's so crucial. The very first thing that I did when I set up my business and even this podcast was set up a CRM with autoresponders and reminders so that even if I couldn't get to my clients right away or didn't see their email right away, they wouldn't feel ignored.
Well, and you don't forget about them either. That's the thing. It's like we are all so busy. If I tried to rely on my memory to remember that I talked to Veronika and recorded a podcast, or that you and I had connected about doing this recording, Oh my gosh, I'm afraid to say that it would have slipped my mind because of all the millions of other things I've got running around in there. So I put things in my CRM for the same reason, because it is a set it and forget it kind of system.
Right. Yeah, I could see that being beneficial because when we are growing a business, sometimes we have so many balls in the air that it's hard to keep track of everything all at once. Tracy, I feel like we've covered so much, but is there anything that we might have missed? Any final thoughts that you have for our audience?
Gosh, I don't think so, except that I would just say that we make sales way harder than it has to be. I mean, we really do. And if anybody out there is listening and going, Tracy, you're crazy. You love sales. You love networking. There's no way that I'm going to love those things. Connect with me. Let's have a conversation, because I can get you where it's just easy and natural for you. I promise. It is not as hard as it sounds. Once we take some of the weirdness out of it, then it just flows and I can skyrocket your sales.
Yeah, we need to touch base because sales is definitely my weak point. But you know what? What turned it around for me, just in this conversation that we had today, was thinking about it as a solution and thinking about how often we do it in our everyday lives. Because yeah, if I can talk my 6-year-old into going to bed, then I can sell anything. Tracy, I want to thank you so much for being on the show and providing all of that wonderful information. I truly appreciate your time. I know it's going to be a huge value to our audience because no matter what it is that you do, sales is a vital part of growing your business and your income. And guys, I'll be back to wrap up the show right after this. Guys, I hope you got as much from that conversation as I did. You know, I think the biggest takeaway that I had was thinking about sales as presenting a solution to a problem rather than just making a sale. I think that's going to be huge for me. And of course, there's the relationship building part of it. So if you need more help with sales or building relationships, don't forget to connect with Tracy. And if you want to have a collaboration with the Biz Essentials or myself, I'm all ears. Send me a DM or an email. All of my contact information is in the show notes as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time on the Biz Essentials.
You've been listening to the Biz Essentials. Thanks for listening to the show. We hope you've gotten some useful and practical information, learning how to be productive, be successful, be joyful, and more importantly, be yourself, and turning your dreams into successful passion projects. By listening to this show, you've already set into motion the most important part, starting. So it's important to catch the next episode. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. In the meantime, hook up with us on social media at Veronika Ventures and at the Biz Essentials. Till next time, this is the Biz Essentials.
Today's quote of the day is by Jeffrey Gitmore. Jeffrey once said, "Great salespeople are relationship builders who provide value and help their customers win." Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time on the Biz Essentials. Bye.